Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Rimshots with Sean right here on the Rock Rage Radio Network, brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk and Mapex Drums. That's Ludwig in the background, which are awesome as well. I have all the way from, I didn't ask you where are you from?
Well, now Charlottesville, Virginia.
There you go. All the way from Virginia, the one, the only Gia Ray. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. And I should mention that your friend of mine, Aaron Beebe, was the connection on this. Aaron has a great new platform that he's running. He's hopefully going to launch it soon. Going to happen. So that's awesome.
Nice.
So tell me a little bit about what you've been up to.
I am always working on music. I just got back from Nashville. I recorded half of my album there, but I'm still kind of writing and deciding which ones are going to make the final cut for the other five. I'm performing every weekend and yeah, been busy.
So I reside in Canada. I'm in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, north of you. We have a lot of people that have like to go to Nashville. Tell me about your experience down there and what you, I guess, have been finding in terms of the town and how things work.
So that was like basically my first time in Nashville. I did when I was like 16, I stopped for 12 hours to sleep and grab a bite to eat on my way down to Alabama. But anyways, so that I don't count that. But this was like I feel like I did it all. I went to a listening room. I did a writer's round. I like obviously went and recorded. I went to like Broadway Street. I mean, I did all of it and I absolutely loved it. It was such a good time.
Yeah.
I love Nashville. I think it's so cool. I mean, anyone you talk to as a musician, that's the great part, but also I feel like I'm not sure if I would want to live there because of that.
Right.
I mean, I literally get to play every weekend here. And I don't know that that would be my reality if I lived there. So, you know,
That's
fantastic to go.
that's interesting that you talk because that is something that a lot of people talk about. So I've talked to a lot of people that say the same thing, right? So
Yeah.
there's a way of doing things. There's a dues paying sort of reel down there. I had an opportunity to interview Rich Redmond, who plays drums with Jason Aldean, and Rich moved from Texas, and he said he was waiting tables and playing for a tip jar before he even got a gig, and that's the reality of that town, right?
Hmm.
Um, the other the other thing that somebody told me is you don't make it in Nashville, the town makes you. Did you kind of get that vibe when you were there as well?
I mean, I'm milking that for what it's worth.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I gotta say, I mean, I've already started. When you say that you're recording in Nashville, people look at you differently, and it doesn't really matter. You know, for me, I almost feel a bit of a poser because I don't live there. I'm not like a quote Nashville recording artist. But you bet your ass I'm putting that on everything I put out because it does make people look at you twice and take you more seriously.
well, now you just said something that it's refreshing because a lot of people that I know that do that don't admit that that's what they're doing, right? So, and what ends up happening is because they leave that part of it out, sometimes people have this jealousy streak where they're going, oh, well, you're just trying to go down there to show everybody up. They don't actually fess up to the fact that it's part of their, I guess, business plan, if you will,
Well, is that like not kind of what you meant by like Nashville makes you, like makes the artist? Or, I
right?
mean, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think being an artist is hard enough. Use whatever you freaking can
Yep.
to get a leg up. You know what I mean? Like, I have no shame in that. I work my ass off and it's hard to make it as an artist. So I will grasp at anything to make it a tiny bit easier to get a little more recognition. Absolutely. No shame.
Well, and I mean, um, the only way I can state it is you're saying some things that I know that you know that a lot of people know, but for whatever reason they won't say, whether they think they're sharing information or they're making themselves look like less of an artist. And I
Mhm.
think that's important.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like what a funny secret to have. There's millions of artists that move to Nashville every year because they want that,
Right.
you know. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm like, is it a secret? Like, what else are you going for other than to use the name of Nashville? I don't know.
I love it. I love it. I want to hit you with something. It was something that came out yesterday different genre than what you're doing. And we'll talk about what you're doing here in a second. But singer by the name of James Michael that sang in a band 6 a.m. with Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue, and he did it was a spoken word podcast, and basically what it was titled "Why I Don't Like Music Anymore."
Mm.
You hit play, and it's basically him talking about it's not about being creative anymore. It's about writing songs to the algorithm. It's about writing songs for people that don't care about what you're doing, all to kind of bubble up to try to make something of yourself and maybe catch somebody's ear and become famous. Do you have any thoughts on that? Do you see that? Do you feel that and what's going on right now?
I mean, of course, I think like that has always been a thing and always will be a thing. I mean, the term sellout has probably, been around forever because of artists doing just that. And maybe before it was more like their label told them to, and now it's kind of like easier to see. Um, like, we have all like the top artists all going right now country. Country
Right,
is like the new thing.
right.
So obviously, it's like, is that genuine to you? Like, are you writing that because you feel that, or is that because like that's the trend right now? I don't know. Maybe, I mean, country music is fun as hell,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I love it. So maybe they just like want to experience how fun it is. Great. But I mean, I think it happens all the time. People writing things that they think will sell, of course.
Well, I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, I've been a sellout a long time, and I really don't care. I mean, it's just what you do to, be creative sometimes. But it's funny though. You mentioned that about country music because I've got a good friend that lives up here in Canada, and he's like, man, this new stuff, forget about it. I'm an outlaw, type country guy, and these new guys aren't country. But then I get these new guys that think the old guys are washed up old farts that yawn whatever. What's your take on the scene? In terms of that, what's your preference? Do you have one? What are some of your influences?
Um, like, okay, sorry, I had a thought and then it just like flew out.
Yeah,
But no, I mean, music, everybody has their own cup of tea. And like, obviously, like, I mean, I guess when I first, I am kind of new to the country music scene as in like the past, I guess like 6 or 7 years.
okay.
And I remember the guy I was dating at the time, he kind of introduced me to it. And he listened to the country that was like beer trucks, girls, and I was like, this sucks. So I hated it. But
Sure.
obviously that's somebody's cup of tea. And so it's like whether it's like the old stuff, the new stuff, there's just, I think in all music there's a place for everybody. I will say, like, I absolutely never write to cater to anyone but myself. Like music writing in particular, I do not consider myself to have an extraordinary voice. It's fine, but there's nothing really special about it. Like writing is absolutely my thing. It's my saving grace. It's just how I live. It's how I survive. So I will never be somebody who writes to please anybody else. That's for sure.
Right. Well, and I mean,
Um,
to throw that stake in the ground though for you is important. I mean, for sure, right?
yeah. So I mean, just as yeah, to take it back to like, what's popular and I don't know. But yeah, I mean, definitely like influences. A lot of my songs have like you can hear the Johnny Cash strumming that like it almost sounds like a train on the tracks.
Yeah.
I use a lot of that. I love Nathaniel Rateliff in the Night Sweats. He definitely is an inspiration. Frank Turner, like I have certain songs that remind me of other artists that I love. But anyways, yeah. So I'm kind of all over the map with my inspiration though. I mean, yeah. You couldn't name just a couple.
I've got a friend that's a writer in Nashville, and he's written some pretty cool songs for some pretty cool people. And the one thing that he said a few times is that sometimes when they're tasked to write for a particular singer, it's very tough because the box goes from, this to, and it's very tough to kind of be on point with that. Um, if you're writing, do you use outside writers?
Do I do what?
Outside writers, or do you write all your material yourself?
Oh no, I write it all.
Okay. So in Nashville, how was if you're using a producer down there, how did that go over? Because I know sometimes people want their fingerprints on it, and how did that go?
They were great.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I have no complaints. They were fantastic. Yeah, I mean, they totally respected my writing, my influence. I mean, if I was like, and can we tweak the guitar on this part? Can we like do something different with the bass? Like what,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love them.
Oh, well, I
Yeah.
mean, that's great. I mean, if you're comfortable there and you feel like what is taking place for you is working, then power to you. And we've already established that you're doing it for a certain reason, which is great. You mentioned when we started, you're in Virginia,
Hmm.
and I thought I heard you say now, meaning are you originally from somewhere else and you wound up there?
So I think I kind of meant like Charlottesville now. I started off in Norfolk, Virginia, which
Ah,
is
okay.
another. I've moved around a lot. I lived in Mexico for a while, and then I lived in LA for a few years, and I did a bunch of traveling, but I came back to Virginia. I do love it here, I have to
Yeah.
say.
Well, I mean, if it's home or close to home, then it makes sense. You get the bit of a support system. In terms of your music and how you've been getting it out there, obviously everybody knows there's different sorts of methodologies and ideas, and I rep music every day. What have you been doing? Have you been trying to get full length releases? Have you been going the single route? What's been working, or what are you hitting on?
Oh man. So, yeah, I usually will release a few singles before like an album.
Mhm.
Um, this one is a little bit different, I think, just because I'm recording it differently. This is my first time like hiring a studio and a producer to work with, and I did that for the first 5 songs. I don't think I'll do it for the rest of the album. So, that makes it a little bit like, okay, I might release every song as a single. I'm
Sure.
not sure. We'll see. That's kind of to be decided.
Well, and I mean, the rules change literally every minute,
I
right?
don't know what the rules are, so I couldn't follow them even if I wanted
I,
to.
I I don't think there are rules, to be perfectly honest with you, because you know I think this is just my opinion based upon working this side of the business for a couple of years now. I think they throw breadcrumbs out to get a whole bunch of people to go that way, and then they take a few people this way and hope nobody catches on. And then when everybody goes, "Oh, what are they doing?" then and that's what they keep doing. And I
Mhm.
think you got to look at what everybody else is doing and try to do the opposite as much as possible, is my theory on it.
Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Keep it in mind.
Well, so I had no, absolutely. I had somebody that gave me two little tips, and I was like, let me try them. And one of them was with regards to TikTok, and he basically said, do a TikTok post 3 times a day, like say 9, noon, 3, whatever, the exact same thing every time, but put different hashtags on it. And he said you will manipulate the algorithm, and you will get crazy views and hits. So I'm like, I will give it a try. So I'll put a reel up now on something. I'll get 15,000 views in an hour.
Hmm.
So stuff like that works. It's interesting, right?
That is interesting.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's just game we have to play on a regular basis all the time.
I'm terrible with that stuff. I don't understand. Okay, I would have guessed that the same hashtags, like then you build your audience or whatever, but no, different. Like I'm awful with that stuff. That's good to know.
Well, his theory is, and this is a guy, oddly enough, who makes music, but he's had over 1 million streams. He's made $1 million on Spotify, and most of it's been through video games.
Get out.
Right? So I'm sitting there going, wow, because I'm a drummer, I do tracks for people, right? And I'll get somebody, hey, I need this. And it's like, okay, what is it? "Oh, I need a video game thing." And I play 45 seconds for a video game, and that's it. That's the track. That's the thing. 10 years ago, I'd be like, that's not a real drummer. That's not a real. Now, you don't even know what you're going to get, right? So you got your mind's got to be open, I guess, all the time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So what do you have on the go over the next bit? I mean, I know when we were trying to set this up that you were busy, I was busy. You said you had some things on the go. What's up with Miss Gia Ray?
I mean, so I am performing. I have a band that plays with me, and I am performing just about every weekend through the summer. So, or every weekend that I'm here at least. Yeah, so just really busy, and any chance that I get outside of that, I am writing and trying to come up with new songs. Um, yeah, and at some point I need to find some type of time to record the second part of my album.
It's always not enough hours in a day. So define for us the playing, because you say you play a lot. Obviously, that kind of indicates to me there's a scene where you are. Talk about that a little bit and what it's like, because everybody that I talk to, either the scene's amazing or the scene sucks. There doesn't seem to be any middle ground. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, Charlottesville definitely has a good music scene. We have a lot of musicians here, a lot of art in general. I mean, we have a art gallery on every corner of like we have a very small downtown area. It's a few blocks. And
Nice.
we have literally an art gallery on every corner. We have live music. Every other, building has live music on the weekends, not necessarily through the week, but you can always find something. You can always find live music. You can always find dancing. You can always find art. I mean, some type of art form every day. So it's a good place to be an artist. I love it.
That's good. And if
Yeah.
you can play and be creative, have fun and make some money, it's a good thing because a few
Yeah.
people aren't. Last question, my new friend. Where do I send my people that watch my podcast on a regular basis to find out more about you and what you're doing?
Yes. Okay. So probably the number one way would be through my Instagram, which is at Gia Ray. I also have a website, which is www.thegiaray.com because Gia Ray was taken.
Well, right? It's
Rude.
a pivot. It's a pivot.
Yeah, I'm like, if you own that domain and you hear this, I would like it. Thank you. But
Awesome.
yeah, this would be the best ways.
Well, I want to thank you for doing this. It was a pleasure to meet you, and yeah, best of luck going forward. I know well, hopefully we're going to have a summer. We haven't had much of one here yet, but here's hoping that we're going to get some good weather.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
all the
thank you for
best.
having me. Thank you.
We are back after this.